Hello and welcome to EFAP Mini Superchat Catchup for episode 305, where we had a chat about Star Wars Outlaws. Oh, how long ago.
Boy,
Craziness.
what a great game.
What a great
What a
game.
magical
Yeah,
experience.
with
We had
a
such a
with a
fun
with a
time.
s it was a real success story for Ubisoft.
It's a really cool sort of, as you know how people tracked the Souls-like genre. It's really cool to track the Golem-like one to see that it's getting more and more popular, see more and more people interested in alternative sort of genres and approaches. Whereas some people say like a Golem game focuses more on platforming, Outlaws focused more on um
Focused on exploration.
oh, is that what was
Yeah.
huh.
Yeah, you can go from the planet to space and
Wow.
back without a loading screen. Amazing.
Pretty cool. Anyway, yeah, so we're gonna be checking out the messages you guys sent during that
Yay.
episode, and we shall start with this stream is dedicated to Jabba the Hutt, the unsung hero of the rebellion. I will
Yeah.
never
He
stop
saved the
finding that
rebellion.
fucking hilarious. What a failure on their part to have written that.
I do have a
Stupid.
question though. I don't know if we've talked about this before, but has Ubisoft or Lucas, whoever, have they said that if Outlaws is canon or not, Star Wars
Huh.
canon, and is there a canon ending to the game?
I don't know how often
I
that sort of
mean,
thing
I think
gets
it's meant to be
declared.
canon. It is supposed to be canon. I think at this point, everything that is Star Wars from this point onward, including the video games, is meant to be canon.
Well, so what I was going to say is that I would have to imagine it is canon, because why wouldn't they want to make something like that? And it doesn't actually break things as bad as prior projects in their realm, and it's probably not the least successful thing. Like, I think you could argue that Solo is less successful than Outlaws, correct or no?
I don't know if you can. Can you?
Well, Solo
I'm not
It
sure if
lost
you can.
how much money?
Yeah, but I can't remember how much money, but I mean, it did lose money. But I mean, Outlaws probably did too.
I can believe that. I just I'd be curious. Point being, a thing being badly received has never stopped them from keeping it as canon. It's almost like a
Yeah,
pride thing. So I'd
it
imagine it
does
still is.
it does seem to be canon based on a number of articles that I'm kind of skimming as I Google it. A number of articles are referring to this as a canonical story. Though I'd probably have to read deeper and see if there's any they probably hadn't said specifically,
Well,
but
no, it's just
what
that
the canon ending
every
is.
project has been canon. It's been said before, like for the
That's what
games,
people are
that they're all
mentioning.
canon.
Unless they say otherwise, it is canon.
what's very funny, of course, is like, well, but they like invented the Zarek Bash. What the fuck is that? And then it's like, yeah, but by the end of the game, if you, I don't know where it is, but you can find some dialogue where after the big final events of the game, some like random person will say, "I can't believe the Zarek Bash has been entirely destroyed."
Yeah,
It's
Which
like,
is weird because they're insanely
right.
huge.
You can close the door on them
yeah,
once it's
that's.
done.
I thought it was so funny. It's like, oh, okay, they
I
ain't
thought the
doing
whole
that
point was
anymore.
they were massive and
Yes, well,
inside of everything.
Well,
They
and
were
integrated into the Empire as well.
they
yeah.
they were funded and organized by the ISB directly. Like they were the Empire's syndicate. The idea that they just disappeared overnight is like, oh, okay.
Well, that K is single and Jabba
Yes.
responsible for that.
Well, it's confusing because obviously Slero was the boss of them. He got killed in a deal with Vader to allow Jalen to take over because he had the Codex. But then Jalen gets killed in a really stupid scene, and so the Codex goes to K, meaning no one is now in charge of the Zarek Bash. And so I guess the Empire were like, let's just get rid of it.
All right. Well, that was just a wash. So
Yeah, like,
yeah.
That was a fun experiment. Anyway, back to the Death Star.
of course, the main reason I bring this up is just that that's the main difference it makes to the world of Star Wars, if not no difference at all. And then it's like Jabba was a Rebel Alliance hero. That's the other element that should
That's
probably be
just
remembered.
one of the endings,
Yeah.
and probably not the
Not the canon. No, the Crimson Dawn is definitely the canon
canon
one.
one.
Did you see Red Letter Media's depressing video called "What Are Next"? Yes, they've made a few of those over the years, where it's just like looking at the slate for the next year and being blown away by how many sequels there are. Which there are a lot on the way around. Yeah. how it goes, what we should expect,
Mhm.
I suppose. I'm not sure if I want to see Joker 2. Don't.
Don't.
Also, fuck this game. Stupid as hell. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. Pretty bad in every possible way.
Incredibly entertaining, though. Maybe not for all the right reasons.
Oh yeah, at its best, in terms of its
It is-
stupidness, it is very
It
funny.
made me lose my shit. I lost I lost a lot of time just laughing. Very funny.
He who controls the goo controls the EFAP. Hi, Rex.
Hello. Well, no one man
Yo,
can
I
level up there.
finally caught an EFAP before it started. I've been here since Rise of Skywalker, and I've been in love with EFAPing ever since. My favorite guest is... it's just a collection of letters there. I mean, Rags, of course. Looking forward to years more of fapping.
Oh, well, you'll get years more of fapping.
That's the plan.
Rise of Skywalker was a while ago, too, so you've been here a while.
Linkin Park fap. I don't think that's going to happen, but, you know.
Probably not.
Do you know when people say... Do you know when people say in their YouTube videos, link in description? I think that's a band for a moment. And I'm like, oh, I haven't heard of them before because I think of Linkin Park. I'm like, oh, yeah, link in description. They're really good. I really like some of their stuff.
It's a sister band, I'm sure.
They're inspired, heavily inspired.
Not that it'll happen, or that it's even logistically possible, but an EFAP gaming Baldur's Gate 3 would be awesome. Probably not, yeah. That's
Takes
one
a
of the
lot
things
of
we still
coordination
haven't
and
properly figured out is EFAP gaming.
yeah, it's good to hop into stuff that are a bit more casual and party-like, because Baldur's Gate 3, from what I understand, is a lot more like, all right, everyone, like, focus and pay attention and play together, you
Yeah.
know? Which might not suit the EFAP gaming format.
What a perfect EFAP for Spooktober. There's nothing more horrifying than a modern Ubisoft game. Yeah. That is kind of, yeah, I think that's fair.
A modern Daedalic game, as I'm discovering.
Jabba was progressive. He let Leia dress as she wanted, and she was into chain fetishes. Leia killed him, and he was too much of a nice guy, bitch. Ain't shit. Also, do your best, Kirk, Spock, and Picard. Why?
Spock, where are the tribbles? I opened up the... No, it's not really. Bones. We need to go down to the planet and contact the aliens. Because if we don't, the planet will be destroyed.
What are like
Damn it, Jim, you can't just go down there. You're the captain. But if you're going to have to go too, I'm the doctor. And you're a Vulcan. You can't just go down to the planet as well. Who will take care of the ship? You gonna leave Scotty in charge? Oh,
I
you
like
know what
that.
he's like.
There's definitely Bones energy there. I can definitely get in.
Jim,
which
if you go down,
that wasn't one of the requirements, by the way.
Captain, if you go down to the planet, then it would be logical
Highly
for you
illogical.
to set your phaser to stun, so as you do not upset the natives living there.
Insufficient facts always invite danger.
You should have insufficient facts, Captain. Always invite danger. What about you, Fringy?
Yeah, do Picard.
The line must be drawn here. There you go.
Is that Picard? Is that one Picard?
Yeah, that's what he said, right?
Yeah.
One of his famous ones, yeah.
G. Earl Grey.
It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not weakness, that is life.
Good old Star Trek.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Instead of Metro Floppenheimer, just watch the... that'll be Metropolis, I guess. Just watch The Wild Robot for based family themes, or watch The Substance for top-notch directing and absurdist horror.
I have not heard anything about Megalopolis.
It's bad. That's all I've heard.
Terrible. Like, really bad.
Guys, we have Wednesday. Why are we...
Is it like EFAP movie bad, or is it just like bad avoid bad?
I've been told it's avoid bad. Only about a couple minutes of a EFAP movie bad.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those. Guys, we have Wednesday. Why are you destroying my ordered schedule? I think we did 2 EFAPs that week. Remember, I can't remember, but if I remember, yeah, because someone said, wait, a Wednesday fab? They've got Vader_what.mp3. Good file. Good.
What?
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 I love that what.
It's a good one.
He's so like so shocked and annoyed. Thanks for the gaming streams. This game was good memes. Hail Nix and Sabak. Hail to the animal designs, and hail to lame platforming and bad combat.
The animal designs were mostly pretty good in the game. So
The
it has that
game's-
going for it.
The thing they really fucked up on was the people, which is not a good thing to have fucked up on. But like
No, but the random animals were really neat.
the animals, the locations, the like broad landscapes, you could tell that was something they were like, hey, look at that, we did that, look at that. It's like, all right. Behold the Buffy axe for Mauler. Nice. Yes, I had that as part of the Halloween set, which I believe we were talking about at this point in time. Well, the fire alarm just went off right before lab class, so I guess I'll watch the stream instead today.
Hooray!
Well, hopefully there was no problem. Hopefully nobody's blowing things up. But, yeah. Check out this.
Hopefully not. A laboratory is no place for experiments.
Exactly. Skewer, Socks, and Cringy are funniest on EFAP. Alright. I guess that's us. Can't be sure, though.
Skewer? You're Skewer, I guess.
I guess I'm Skewer, yeah.
And Fringy is Fringy.
You're Socks, apparently.
How did they spell Fringy? Because some people say Fringy just by
Dude, that
the normal.
was so annoying. I think it was either Open Bar or FNT. I can't remember, but it was like, yeah, you know, it's like Fringy, and then I think it might have been Gary who was like Fringy, and it's like Fringy, 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 Fringy. Like, can you
Listen,
what?
you're old man.
They get it eventually, though. Give this to Rag so we can afford better internet. Oh,
My internet's actually really good. It just the issues with my internet aren't anything to do with like the speed and stuff of it. It's
consistency.
every once in a while. It just wants to be flumpy.
Which is funny, right? In terms of like, which would you rather be perfect? It's like I think most people would they pick consistency.
I mean, it depends on the rate of inconsistency.
I guess so.
Because the fact that I can stream at like 1440p 60, it's really good. It looks really nice.
Yes, sir.
But you know, when it doesn't work, it's like ugh.
I'm looking forward to Internet Historian's eventual Cyberpunk Redemptive Boogaloo video. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's plenty to work with there, from what I understand.
Yeah, absolutely. Cyberpunk's pretty great.
EFAP Halloween the Fappening 2, also fringy.
Oh, that was
Oh my goodness.
surprised me there.
Star Wars Outlaws is distasteful to me. Is that the most endearing meme from Saw? The Saw series? It might be.
Probably.
It's such a funny
Probably.
meme. Like, to me.
Why does he say it like
I
that?
don't know.
He's a goofy guy, all right?
He really is.
Sawman is a wacky dude.
First The Acolyte, then Outlaws. What a great year for Star Wars. Yeah. Going good, man.
Series is doing really well.
And they're all just making money hand over fist. It's insane. Just it's pouring in. More projects. Yes, let's go. The Chad Benjamin Franklin who adored MILFs versus the Virgin Forest T. Rump. I'm guessing they wanted to say Trump, but you're not censored from saying Trump. You can say Trump. Who sugar dads younger women also. All of Ubisoft needs to be studied. Okay.
Nice segue between those two thoughts as well.
Well, there you go.
You know how Benjamin Franklin loved MILFs? Yeah, we should study those Ubisoft games.
Benjamin would have wanted us to study Ubisoft at its downfall. Mauler, thank you for your work. It has changed my life and got me through some much hardship. Currently on EFAP 57, catching up since summer 2023. My dream is to guest someday. Also, hi Rags, Theo, and Jay.
Hello.
Theo and Jay would have said hi back, and yeah, well, thank you, I appreciate it, and I hope you're doing well, still enjoying the show. Since you were on 57, I can only imagine you're Still nowhere near present day, but that's totally fine. You know, got plenty of story left to absorb. We're gonna go longer than One Piece, guys. That's gonna be our goal.
That's been going for like 30 years, right?
Well, challenge accepted. Hello, have been watching since before episode 50. You've done great work. Keep it up. Sorry if I've made mistakes. My Hutties is rusty. Do you know that meme? Like, because basically, what happens in the game is like the Rancor fight, the Veil, she's doing whatever the fuck she's doing, pressing buttons and stuff. And one of her pieces of dialogue is that she presses the wrong button or she does something wrong and she says it's because her Hutties is rusty. And it gets repeated over and over and over again because a lot of people end up either... It's that, do you know that system they have where if you fall over, it like resets the conversation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was happening alongside when you load a checkpoint with the Rancor. The first thing I think that gets said is her saying, blah, 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 my Hutties is rusty. And I ended up hearing it like 8 times when I was playing the game the first time. And yeah, chat just ran with it, I think. But it's not just me. I think it happens to a lot of people. So it's just like an Outlaws meme. Your Hutties is rusty. If anyone is looking up this to this game, it's because there's a blaster pointed at their chins. I don't think anybody is gonna... We'll be lucky if anyone can remember its name, you know, once enough time passes. Oh, shit. You know, the next one that comes out, they'll probably sell as the first open-world Star Wars game.
Maybe. Hmm.
Like, it'll be completely different or whatever by a different studio, but they'll be like, oh, I guess there was that other one, but yeah, sorry about it. Jack 2 is a better Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah, obviously. It's not even close. Jack 2's like a video game.
I mean, Simpsons Hit and Run is a better open world as well, you know? Like, it's not even close.
It's you know, you know earlier, right? Like the seamless loading. It's like, man, that was some shit that fucking Jack get out in 2001.
Yeah.
We're bragging about it's some cool new thing in 2024 when it's worse. It
Yeah, it is
really
worse.
calls attention to itself. It's what you said more. It's the Ratchet and Clank one, except the Ratchet and Clank one is quicker. Ratchet and 5 seconds and then you're on the planet. Here it's like, oh yep, here we go.
Well, and the
This is
fact that
exciting.
the director guy, he said that it was like the hardest thing they implemented in the game in terms of technology, and it's like, no, you're lying. That's a lie.
It's just
like,
a loading screen.
There is no technology. It's you have area of game, then you have smoke screen, then you have new area. It's less immersive than Metroid Prime in terms of how they separate the loading screens. So like,
yeah,
don't give me that
I'd
shit.
rather take an elevator. I'd rather just take an elevator.
Yeah.
Like, it's quicker.
Or Mass Effect did that.
that.
It was Mass Effect would use like elevators and stuff to do loading screens. It's just
Well,
it's
those ones call a little bit more attention to themselves because of how long they lasted. I would say. It's like a Metroid Prime where it takes 5 seconds, and you're like, "Yep, there you go, off to the new area."
During your House of Ashes stream back in Spookyween 21, you described it by saying, describe Tetris by saying it's full of freedom with a confined space. This game is no freedom with a really open space. Very applicable. Yeah, kind of.
There is a lot of space, but there's not a whole lot that you can actually do in that space. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, and there's like so many areas to be like, oh wow, look, it's Tatooine. Also, then you're just like, what can I do here? It's like the same thing you could do in the past 10 minutes. Nothing.
the same thing you can't do anywhere. What do you mean?
It's like, woohoo. I've been enjoying bleak nihilism for 30 years. Oh no.
Yo,
Gaming
nice.
for 30? Damn. Happy Spook Month. What horror games would you guys recommend other than frictional titles? I have those. Also High Rags. Also watch Paprika.
Paprika. Okay, I think that's been recommended before. What horror games would we recommend? Well, Resident Evil 4 is one that I would
that's
recommend.
going to be a pretty big one for me and Rags, certainly. Fringy, did you play the original? You did, right?
I played the original and the remake.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd say Dead Space, the remake in
Space is
particular.
easy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dead
great
Space
game.
2 is a easy recommendation as well.
Mm-hmm.
3's okay. Eh.
Probably Alien Isolation. Certainly, if you're an Alien fan. I think did they mention there was like rumblings of a sequel potentially happening for that?
I
I'm not
think
aware of that.
I think I heard something about it. There was something getting done with the project.
I have to see.
But I think so. Because we talked about how they were gonna maybe make like Rain or whatever her name is be the protagonist of it.
I've seen a lot of people playing Mortuary Assistant recently. Apparently, that's good for the sort of the more how do I put this, like schlock element of horror gaming, where you're going to be given a bunch of jump scares. Probably fun to stream. This is there's a different set of reasons. Like all the Resident Evil games, like 7 and 8, not games that we highly recommend in terms of mechanics, but they are quite enjoyed by a lot of people. It's not going to be denying that. Little Nightmares is one that I enjoyed from the little time I played it, and gets recommended a lot in terms of offering a very different experience.
Darkwood.
Yes,
That's an oddly spooky game considering what kind of a game it is. That's pretty creepy.
Yeah. With any of these, just maybe check out their trailers, right, to see if it's the kind of mechanics or genre that you're interested in. Maybe Bloodborne to an extent. It's certainly horror inspired.
I think that can count somewhat. What about Until Dawn? That's a pretty cinematic.
Well, that's the thing.
Uh,
You may find this shocking, but I'd be like, if you've got a friend, maybe some alcohol, and you want to mess around with an interactive film, it works the first time. When everything is new, it can be amusing when you just decide something and then someone dies or whatever. But I think it's crap. But that's the horror experience is complicated. Eh?
yeah.
Alan Wake is possible as well in terms of an
And
enjoyable
Alan Wake 2
story.
is scary in its own way.
Very much so, yes. Is PT available to people anymore? Or is that completely dead?
I do not
don't
know.
know. I don't know.
Is that like I'm curious if the only way you can get it is through like getting PS3s that have it installed already or whatever.
PlayStation 4s, you mean?
Oh, is it 4? Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably a good set.
Yeah.
Star Wars Outlaws.
Absolutely. All Gollum likes are horror games, really.
Boring platformers are my favorite video game genre. Oh, I love boring platformers.
I saw part of your playthrough where you just shuffle it across a wall, and it's just like, man, the person who came up with this originally and everyone copied, what a genius, you know? Oh, what
God,
a
I wish.
like,
Oh, I'm not gonna go back in time and kill Hitler. I'm gonna
I'm
go back
getting
in
that
time
guy.
and kill that motherfucker who thought that slowly sliding along the sides of ledges was a great video game mechanic to pad out time. I fucking hate these boring ass third person platformers so much. It was the worst. It was the worst part of Outlaws. Was like it was legitimately. I think it might have been the end of my first stream or something. I was like falling asleep. It was actually difficult for my brain to be engaged with anything, and I was yawning and getting tired and sleepy because of that big High Republic cruiser that you had to climb around. Oh my god,
yeah.
it was so boring.
The one that, I still find it bizarre. It's the one that Waka sends you to, and then he just appears behind you when you go through the entire fucking adventure. It's like, did
Yeah,
he do all of that as well? Like,
yeah, he was doing his boring platforming. It's a slow time event is what it is. That's what
Mhm.
they are. Because you're not under any pressure or time constraint, but there's only one way to do it, and then you jump to the ledge, press D to slide to the right, then
Well, and
spacebar to the next ledge. It's like a slow time event.
they'll often do the thing too where if you fail, either it just full resets you, just boring as fuck, or it pushes you down into like some area that takes ages to climb back out of, back into where you were. It all just feels time wasting, and you're probably thinking to yourself like, oh, did they do this so that it could extend as much as possible this fucking game time? Probably. Everything feels like an attempt to extend.
Yeah.
Uh, Death Stranding had less of a budget than this, and the actors look like themselves in the game. Also, the Billy D. Williams face looked like Billy D.
Did Death Stranding have a lower budget than Star Wars Outlaws? Yeah, I guess that's possible.
Yeah, and I mean,
I think it was because in the video I was talking about the idea of like, oh man, yeah, it's too difficult to make the character look like the actor. It's like, I don't know, man. Feels like that problem got solved like 15 years ago.
got solved. Well, we
I mean,
can
pretty
unsolve
much.
problems now.
Yeah.
Ayo, Rags. As far as Nick's EMF sensor, the duckbill platypus can sense EMF from fish and other whatnot. You're a good boy.
Thank you. It's interesting. I didn't know that.
That is like just to because I assume they're referencing how Nick's ability is insane.
Yeah,
he
that's
can like
insane.
track
It's the
how electricity is
precision
traveling
of
through
it.
the walls down to their individual pipes and where they're or wires, whatever, where they're heading. There is nothing we can appeal to in real life that would have someone
That should have been a gadget.
like a
Because that's
daredevil
something that other
sense
video games.
of all the
other games
electronics in a
use
building.
gadgets for that. You have to use your electronic vision or whatever to find the power sources, and you're in a sci-fi world.
Yeah,
Just
use
say that's one of her. That's one of her gadgets. That she
engineer
uses.
insight to assume where the pipes probably are. You could get it like, that's as close as natural as you can get, but yeah, a gadget would make way more sense.
That's how, to draw a strange parallel to Dead Space, because Isaac Clarke is a skilled engineer. That is the explanation for why you know how to go to all of the objectives and do them. Is he'll say, "Oh, this is this, so we need to go do this," and that's how you get your objectives. Is he just gives you that knowledge?
That's why a lot of the weapons in the first game are very, like
Practical.
I was gonna say, quote unquote.
Cool.
Some of them are a little like, really, and you're like, yeah, shut up.
There's
A
an
lot of
effort
them
to
are
contextualize them as repurposed tools that you would use
Yeah.
in engineering jobs.
Because like all the blurbs and stuff on a lot of the guns would be, this is used to do this to like to boulders and rocks, and this is used to separate high density ores from da da da, and they're made in such a way that they can be held and stuff. And so it's like, okay, I buy it. Yeah, I buy it.
Good enough.
The pulse rifle's just a rifle, though. That's just a rifle that
Yeah.
the military uses. That's just an actual gun.
Her hand was soup in a glove after that first helmet punch. I mean,
Yeah.
I just like that everyone all over the fucking world had the same reaction to that. Everybody was like, "What the
fuck?" A bunch of guys in
fuck?"
a helmet with like and knocking them out with a little shockwave.
I can totally believe with almost every stupid mistake in that game that they had like a whole plan. She can punch anybody who's not wearing a helmet, but helmet people, like Gollum did this. I'm not even fucking kidding. Gollum actually did this. So I could see them being like, we'll implement more systems as we go along, but people with helmets, she's gonna have to use different attacks for. Like that's how we'll make it work. And then they ran out of time, and they were like, fuck it. She can just punch them all. Fuck you.
Punch them all. Total knuckle death.
Mm-hmm. Are you aware that ER took a light jab at your Atla take in his latest video? He's taken many jabs at my Atla take. He loves that show, and he's more than entitled to do so.
What a wacky guy.
I will equally take jabs at people's takes that I think are insane. It's our right as humans. It's gosh darn it, isn't this America? Somewhat. YouTube is owned by Americans, right?
Google, yeah.
There you go. All good. They could have made Kay force sensitive. It's implied that force sensitives are stronger than the average Wookiee. Or they could have given her a robotic arm, but she's the bestest ever. Yes. I wouldn't have made her force sensitive. I'm so bored of that.
Of course not.
Fucking everybody's
tiresome.
force sensitive. But some kind of robotic arm would be fine with me, yeah. As she's got this like mechanical extremity that has been modded, and she's working with the underworld to get as many mods on it that can fuck around with technology. That's like an easy way to make that interesting. But they really did go all out on the laziness. They made Nyx responsible for like fucking everything in the game. So you are Reed's fake Schlippo? Don't know what you mean. Aren't we all Schlippo in some? Farewell and adieu to you fair Fleamish massives. Farewell and adieu to you massives of Fleam. Farewell.
Oh, farewell to you.
Indeed. A shilling for K's useless reputation meter. It's almost
Hey, it's not
useless.
useless.
Almost.
It gets you drip.
But well, I mean, it's such a strange system how much it what it does in totality, right? Like the fact that it completely breaks the game if you pursue getting good reputation in terms of like most of the missions that run in the districts. That's just why'd you make it like that? What were you doing? And then you're like, oh, they didn't test it. And you're like, oh right, okay. This is Metal's Star Wars Outlaw Survivor group therapy session. Wait, why is it just his? I feel like we all get to be a part of that, you know? Victims. What is your guys' thoughts on the concept of everyone blindly believing a dude contradicting everything they believe in? Only Fringy answer.
Yeah,
Huh?
Fringy. Let's hear it.
What's the question again?
What is your guys' thoughts on the concept of everyone...
What is your guys' thoughts, Fringy answer?
You have to answer what our thoughts are.
Yeah.
So what is it again?
The thoughts on the concept of everyone blindly believing a dude contradicting everything they believe in.
Oh, like okay, I see. So, like, if a whole bunch of characters who were established as having a certain worldview and values had been assembled by a guy who presented their worldview that totally contradicted that, and then they all went along with it. I mean, I don't know that that's happened in any story, least of all a superhero story for whatever reason. But yeah, I don't know, man. That sounds a bit odd. But this is a hypothetical, so you know, like who knows, right? It's all about the execution.
Yeah. I'm gonna build my own faction with blackjack and hookers. You should. Great.
Yeah, but you can't though.
No, you can't. Actually, that is
You
a
cannot
good...
play
It has to be
blackjack or
Subaru, and
hookers.
there's no hookers, that's for sure.
And you can definitely not drink. You cannot drink alcohol.
And yet they claim you can. Like because they probably did intend to have that at some point. And then
they ran out of time, and all you can do is just stand by the bar and do nothing.
What's even
All
funnier
they'd
is
have to do-
it might be worse than that. It might have been they were implementing it, and then someone at Disney was like, "Don't have alcohol
Don't
drinking
have
in the game.
drinking.
Yeah, don't do that." It's like, really? Like, yeah, no. It's like, what if it's just
Yeah, that's
milkshake?
well, because I think that affects
blue
the
milkshake.
rating, right? That's the reason why in The Sims you can only it's juice. It's never beer. I think as soon as it becomes alcohol, that changes the rating from
That
Maybe.
could be
I
it.
don't know what it would be in. Well, I think it would be from teen to mature in the ESRB system.
In any case, it's retarded because yeah, you literally could just have it having blue milk, and all the fans would go, "Oh my god, blue milk! Oh my god!" There's so much
Yeah,
blue
she
milk."
could just say, "What do you have?"
exactly.
and something strong, and she'll make up some excuse about how she has to drive home in her speeder or something.
Well, it's exactly what I said.
Gotta
It's
keep
what
score.
The Sims does. They have something that's effectively a stand-in for alcohol, but they just call it juice.
I'm saying the Star Wars fans wouldn't even care if you didn't do a stand-in. If you just had blue milk, they'd be happy. So
Yeah.
Oh my god, blue milk! It's blue! It's blue!
Oh, it's just yet another one of those sort of perplexing things of like why it's the same. It's in the same category as why can't I drive other speeders? Why do I just have to use this bike?
Because they want you to love that bike so
because
much
they ran
and
out of
cherish
time.
it.
God damn it!
No, it's because they're trying to specifically build up a relationship between you and that bike. It's like your horse in Red Dead.
he really did treat the bike like a Red Dead horse. It's so fucking dumb.
Now I'm just imagining the ending of Red Dead Redemption 2, but instead of the horse, it's the bike.
It's
K hunched over.
Well, just like because like Shadow of the Colossus, when the horse is really far away, you whistle and it comes to you. When it's close, you can call its name, and it's like it acts like a horse. The idea that they were like, well, we can't actually have a horse, but we need all of those systems. Bring them all in. You're like,
yeah,
what?
It's just silly. And then of course you don't have any of the as is typical in an open world game with a horse. If it's too far away, it's not going to come to you because it can't hear you. That's the amount of distance should be relevant if we're trying to create something that's immersive.
Cyberpunk does the same thing where if you of all the cars and vehicles that you have, you press V, and it just sort of appears nearby, and then it comes towards you, which is like, I know it teleported here, but it's
wonder
cyberpunk
if,
technology. So
Hmm.
there.
I wonder if we should like go back to the time when, you know, if you were just in a place and there was no vehicle around, it's like, well, I guess you're walking then. Like, rather than just, oh, well,
Well,
you can instantly get the
It's
vehicle that you
really
need.
nice to have my car here quickly so I
do you
can move
remember
on.
there's a mission in Outlaws where you do the huge like turbines that control or manipulate the wind of Toshara. And
Yeah,
once
yeah.
you switch everything all on, everything's good to go. There's a huge expanse of land you need to go back through, but you came through there walking because you couldn't do anything else because, you know, different blah, blah, blah. But it's like a big old track now, and it's like, oh, if only I had my speeder. It's just like, it's just there. You're like,
It's just there, yeah.
who put that there?
But one way you could get around that is if you just had multiple vehicles and there was just a vehicle there, you know, that like
Just
a
have the
vehicle that would
have the
make
quest
sense in that
giver
environment.
have the quest giver say, you know, hey, I'm sending a speeder or whatever to the pickup location. Now that you're done, it'll be at whatever location.
Yeah,
But
it's
that would
easy to
imply
say
that
that the
they,
speeder has AI that can get it to you or
Yeah.
whatever. But they didn't. They just they have it appear impossibly, and you're like, okay, well, there we go. Makes things easy. Which, you know, I ain't denying it does. It's just a little bit lame, someone might. For the idea of playing ND5, BX Commando droids are canonically mimic voices. Let the player copy NPC voice lines as a mechanic. I mean, what you're talking about is the beginnings of what could be like a really fucking cool new idea for a game. We just don't do that anymore. We're beyond that. It's not a thing anymore. People don't like
it's all just copying bullshit
Well,
and
Or chasing
trying
trends
poorly to
or
imitate things.
in
Yeah.
indie
showing off
games, you'll find
graphics.
some cool like ideas, but unfortunately, when the games cost too much money, nobody wants to do anything too crazy.
Because, yeah, I mean,
It's-
that probably will happen eventually with the incorporation of AI in games. Some creative way of trying to generate an experience that's very different, especially with how much that's going to get more and more invasive. But you just hope some good stuff will come out of it. Because being able to incorporate voices into like a full realized world that are literally your own is just that could be cool. Also very scary in a way.
Mm.
Got the whole set. My first ever plushies. My favorite gang. Thank you for everything.
Hell yeah.
Hey.
That's awesome.
Glad-
Thank you.
I hope you like them.
Can't believe I'm saying this, but I kind of miss JX. He's been gone for a while now. We all do.
We all miss
Yeah.
him. Come back. You fucker.
I want a fan-made game where you play as a xenomorph in a Star Wars galaxy prior to TFA, feast on or impregnate NPCs and major characters, set up hives on every planet, and run roughshod over the new canon.
That would be fun.
It's like the only goal you have is to destroy every sequel character, fight them and kill them.
They're the little mini bosses. Then they raise at the end.
I still can't believe this garbage excuse for a game is what got Rags to actually stream again. Also, you Dumbos should play a better game, DDLC.
Something to think about.
Theo, you heard of this Abyssal Archive Dark Souls fan lore book I'm getting ads for? Any good? Afraid he can't answer.
He can't hear you. Because he's a weeb.
I just made a Watch Dogs video. Watch Dogs 2 has worse combat than 1, but comparing this game to anything but Watch Dogs 3 is unfair.
I remember really liking Watch Dogs 2. I thought that was a cool game.
Well, there you go. I don't really know anything about
I
Watch
don't
Dogs.
know anything about it myself.
Well, the third one I think is generally regarded as the worst one. That was the one where you can play as anybody. Like there is no fixed main character. Any NPC in the world could become like a main character that you play. Which like on its face isn't even that interesting to me.
Yeah, it's
as
like,
a concept.
well, why don't you just pick one of them and that's our protagonist and they're interesting. Instead
I
of
think-
you can
yeah,
play
I
as
think-
any
I think
boring
the problem
loser.
is, when you tell me that, it's like, so the story will be bad, is what you're telling me. Like,
Yeah, because it has to
I don't-
account for every kind of character, and our
Exactly.
reactions and everything has to be a template of things instead of something that's specifically crafted. And like, okay, well,
yeah,
that sounds like a
exactly.
terrible idea that maybe took a lot of work for anti-profit.
Not to say that like Watch Dogs 1 and 2 had told particularly interesting stories themselves. I mean that they had plenty of problems, but I don't know. It's just like the idea of the main character essentially being just like any random person that you pull from the street was not interesting at all.
Yeah,
but,
that
like,
just
Lost
isn't
Ark
interesting at
was a
all to me
cool
now.
game. Like that was a cool game that had a lot of fun gadgets and different methods of approaching missions and a pretty cool open world. Like super varied and vast. Well, probably not that big compared to I mean, Outlaws is pretty big actually in terms of the amount of space that's available. It's just that what the fuck you gonna do with it? We need more cities, open world cities. I'm getting a little bit
Could
tired
have been
of
what
so many open
Kojimi
world
is.
games being big.
Yeah, Kojimi was
Big.
awesome.
Hey, well, okay, so cities where you can do shit.
Okay, now you're asking a lot.
Cities with
That's
things
what-
in them. Have you ever been
Yeah.
to a city before?
Yeah, they're mostly
Yeah,
empty.
they're pretty boring. There's nothing to do in a city, just in a paddock out in the country.
The Chad, I will work for the Huts because Jabba Mauler versus the Virgin. Crimson Dawn have better fashion. Rags. Ooh.
Crimson Dawn do have better fashion.
They just portrayed you as the Virgin and myself as the Chad, so I guess I win. Pretty cool.
Just goes to show the kind of treachery you have to stoop to.
What, the truth? I don't think that's treachery. I think that's
It is
a good one.
treachery.
That's the opposite. They put fun in this? I must have missed that side quest. Yeah, I don't know how many things one would describe as fun in the game that aren't unintentional. Scene. Mauler, home alone. The power goes out. He hears a noise in the basement. He opens the basement door hesitantly. A voice calls from the darkness with a single 3-letter word. Fun. You just don't find fun that much anymore. Hiding in the basement.
You don't find fun much anymore. You find battle passes.
Mm-hmm. What I would give to play a new Star Wars game where you play as an alien. I'm sick of these protagonists always being human. It's not just human, it's fucking insufferable.
But yeah, so it would be nice if there were more aliens that were interesting.
Yeah, why can't I
The
play as
problem
Max
is a lot of
Rebo?
the times there's a lot of aliens they make and they're just like super lame and boring. Like who are
Yeah.
the
Well, let me. If you had a chance to switch out K for Jar Jar, would you guys have done it?
100%.
Easily.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's-
Yeah, that's not even a question, really.
It would just be so funny. Especially
Yeah, it would.
just hearing all of his versions of the dialogue. Oh, make that game, you cowards. Star Wars is an American mythology, and Lord of the Rings is a British mythology, and Braveheart is a Scottish one. Therefore, we need a serious, a wacky, and a cringe recast of Braveheart, just like y'all did with Lord of the Rings.
Oh my goodness.
That one's not going to be as effective because I don't even know how well remembered Braveheart is for all three of us. Even, like, I've seen it many times, but, other than William Wallace and Robert the Bruce, it's like, who am I casting here? Meanwhile, Lord of the Rings, we did a whole thing for that, right?
That's right, yeah. Like meme choices and like real choices and all sorts.
So yeah, we'll probably skip on Braveheart, but maybe we'll do another one of them another time at some point if we're feeling particularly interested. Lord of the Rings is perfect. That's why we did it for that one. Congratulations to Ubisoft for doing the literal bare minimum for Immersion. I don't even think they did that.
Nah.
I'll take that bet. Let's go. I assume this is regarding... Oh, this probably still is on G-Man Lives' video. It's his and Alana Pierce's we cover. So all the changeover will happen at some point. I'm glad Red Dead Redemption 2 is mentioned in this EFAP the way RE4 was in reviewing RE Village. Vastly superior in every single way. Someone stream it, please. Yeah, we still had, like, a selection of people who were very mad about that, but it's just true. RE4 mechanically, fuck, what a
It's
marvel.
so much better.
And then
Village
RE8
is so boring going
Yeah.
into that. It's like, oh, let me explain to you what the combat is in Resident Evil 8. It'll take me a second, all right? Put the dot on enemy's head, click 7 times.
Wow.
That's it. That's the depth of the mechanics of combat in that game, and it fucking sucks. It's so boring, and it's so lame. And one of my worst experiences was discovering as I was playing that game that the first enemies you kill in that entire game, that's it. That's what you'll be doing the entire time. Put the white dot on the enemy's head and click like 7 times. So much fun.
But yes,
People eat that shit up.
There is a comparison to be made there as well, like RDR2 versus Outlaws in terms of just like how to do everything worse.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it feels almost silly to even think about. It's like, all right, where do you start comparing them? It's like, I don't know, man. It's just like one of them is a fully realized for a immersive open world game, and the other one is like, we'll do Star Wars and we'll do an open world, and yeah, it's gonna be.
And people are gonna love it. Sure.
That's right.
Oh no, it's not doing great. Damn it. IGN still has not even reviewed World of Horror. What is World of Horror?
I don't know what that is.
I do not know what that is either. But okay. It's a joke, guys. I don't think Outlaws is good. That's okay. I don't think anyone thinks Outlaws is good. Even the people
IGN,
who say it.
give it a 7.
Even the people who say it's good don't think it's good.
Their page show.
Well, are they ever going to play it again? Are they ever going to feel
No,
compelled to go back and play it again? No, no way.
Not even when the DLCs come out. People will just be like, yeah, I'll do it at some point.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. Which, by the way, once that it might be out by the time this is out. I don't even know. But whenever the last DLC or the last one they promised out of 2, I think, comes out, you know for a fucking fact that game's getting dropped.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, that'll be the end of that. I would be surprised if they made a sequel. They'll probably just get him. It's like, all right, that fucked up. Go back, do the Division 3.
The reality is, for all we know, the 2 DLCs were probably completed right once the game was released anyway.
Or close to it, probably.
Yeah. They've done some like hot fixes or whatever, but really surface level stuff. Like the fact that she can keep her gun when climbing a ladder now is the kind of thing that's like, oh, so it was a bug that fucked that up, and they finally found like where it went wrong, because that is one of the most bizarre things to not have in a game. Like every other game ever does that, so something obviously went wrong, and they were probably like, "Oh fuck!" Can you believe that? That wasn't working.
That's a huge bug.
They must have known it wasn't working, and they were like, "We'll fix it later. Go, 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 go." It's just like,
get it done, get it out. We gotta get it out now.
Chiba dog laughing slightly while blushing and covering his mouth with one arm. What a nice image. I totally thought the hacker recognized Kay's name and was luring you to an Imperial base to hand you over for a bounty. It sounded like it. No, nothing dynamic ever happens.
Nothing interesting happens.
Yeah.
There's no like multiple ways to complete a mission because of who you do or do not trust, or dialogue options.
I think one of the worst ones for that was there's a mission where you get a data pad and it says like, do you want to provide this data pad to the Crimson Dawn or the Pikes? Oh my god. And you go, I guess. Whoever you choose, you then have to go and give it to them. So say, for example, you choose the Crimson Dawn, you have to go give it to that Twi'lek girl. And so you head to Shara, and it's like, can I just go to the Pikes now? And it's like, no, you have to go to her. You press the button. It's like, okay, but what if I change my mind? It's like, no. Like, okay.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
That's like so embarrassing. It's like,
why? I don't know. Why would they let you play as a woman and then not allow you to change your mind in the middle of any task?
Insane. But
this is just immersion has been destroyed.
That's basic as shit. Why can't I duplicate the data and sell it to both of them?
Why not give me 2 objectives and I could choose between which one I go to, and it only ends when I hand it into one of them? Isn't that the obvious thing that all games would do?
You get to a point where you're like, have you guys made games before?
Have you played a video game ever? Have you played a video game before? Because I've never made a game, but I've played them.
And then you get people who are like, oh, you're always over-exaggerating, and it's like the worst thing ever. It's like, this is one of the worst games. It really is. They've got like some of the most basic shit wrong. How are you fucking up? Well, I could have a gun while crouching. I have to drop it. Like, what is that?
Can't bring it into the vent.
You can't even have more than one gun that's like yours. What a crazy fucking choice. Terrible. Kay, I never said thank you in Huttese, and you'll never have to. Yeah, from Jabba, because he did that for her.
Jesus Christ.
Did that for her.
Jabba did it for Kay.
And he'd do it again.
In a heartbeat, anything for his queen, and God help whoever came between him and his queen.
What you don't understand is David is a main character and cannot die. Dave's big fucking chillin'. Who was Dave in in Outlaws? Was there a Dave?
Was that just the name they give to every male NPC in the world? Is just
There was probably a few Daves, yeah. Morley, you should check out a game called Hell Is Us. Comes out next year. It's a Souls-like and seems up your alley. I'm interested in it. Hi, Rags.
Hello.
All right, yeah. I mean, I can have a look at like a trailer or whatever at some point. We shall see. You only played 4 hours in the middle of the game? What was the point of making the video? What was the point of playing at all? It's the circuit. It's how it works. I mean, I can't help but feel insanely cynical about this. We make a game, guys ensure the first 4 or 5 hours are like the best of the experience. Then we'll pay a whole bunch of people to review it. And of course, at this point, it's evolved so much in terms of the cynical nature of it all. It's like, I want you to be honest, okay? And then they handcuff, like a handshake, not handcuff, even though that's Freudian. Yeah, like that's definitely where my brain was going with that. But
socially handcuffs, yeah.
It's like, yeah, be honest, please. Be honest how much you enjoyed the game, please. And I can't wait to work with you again in future. And they'll be like, yeah, that'll be great. So they play that 4 or 5 hours, and they probably get told by the people at the place, like, oh, you know what else is in this game later? It's this, it's this, it's this. So many people talking about how incredible and like almost revolutionary the reputation system is. The experts, I'll never get over the fact that people were like, the expert system is amazing. It's way better than some crappy skill tree. Now I get to talk to people who specifically specialize, and I get to work with them and satisfy missions they have to unlock specific, things. It feels so much more customizable. It's like, it's just the same thing, but takes longer.
It's a skill tree with a middleman.
Yeah,
you
it's
just
like,
added a middleman to me leveling up and putting a point on the thing that I want.
Just like, why does it feel like nobody's played games before, or they can't like pass out what the fuck they're dealing with mechanically? Oh my god, it's such a revolutionary system. Never been done.
Though. It's different. It's not a menu, except it is. It is a menu.
So
it is
absolutely
a menu.
Is, yeah.
It's just got a list of portraits on it. You don't interact with the people. It's just, ugh.
No, yeah, that's the other thing. You don't have to go back to them, and you could be like, well, why would you want to? That would be busy work. And it's like, that's kind of the point, isn't it?
I thought they were going to skill train you.
Like, no.
Hey, I learned about this thing. Can you show me this? And then they're like, I think you're ready, Kay. I can teach you this cool trick that I learned back on Sabuki 7.
And it's never that interesting anyway. It's literally just, hey, can you get me thing? Or can Nick steal thing 5 times? Or can you throw a grenade that blows up 2 people? Okay, now you can do thing. And you're just like, what? What are you... What is... None of that... whatever. But yes, point being, of course, that this is all the way it works. This is the industry right now, and it sucks. And finding someone you can rely on to review things in a timely, fast, even prior to release fashion is almost impossible. Because of how Gary puts it, access media. It's in the name. There's not going to be access for people who aren't towing the line, at least somewhat. Of course, you get, like, some people who can skirt the line where you're like, oh shit, they just ripped into that completely and they had early access to it. Which is fun. But you gotta go fucking hunting for them. And you gotta hope they don't fucking advertise something like Raid Shadow Legends while telling you about the fall of gaming.
Yep. Remember, guys, gaming, oh boy, there's all these microtransactions and timers, and oh, things are really going bad. Oh boy, what am I gonna... Oh boy, I sure do love gaming and I want to save it. Anyway, thanks to our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends.
Did you know it's one of the most popular RPGs?
Highest rated on the App Store.
RPGs of the last year. My favorite character is
Brufus,
Lizard.
the orc. Yeah.
I like Lizard, man. Yeah,
and you get 10,000 silver.
Yeah, you get 10,000.
You can even skip the first 20 levels if you sign up now.
If you sign up now, you don't even have to play. What a great deal.
Play itself for you.
Oh man, yeah, check out this amazing animation and this amazing graphics. And this is on the phone mobile. Isn't that great?
And anyway, here's part, it's free.
And the best part is it's free.
For the first month free.
Photons do not have mass, Rags. No, I'm right. Well, I don't quite remember exactly if you said photons don't have mass. I don't remember what this is all about exactly, but they're laughing at you, Rags, so
All
I
right.
hope you make it. Stopping time bad. Also, stopping time good. Why didn't they have a stopping time mechanic in Outlaws, huh?
They almost did with their, what was it, quick draw?
Oh, yeah.
Gunslinger mode?
Deadeye is what everyone...
Deadeye.
Yeah.
I think it's called Adrenaline mode, but who the fuck's called it that?
Adrenaline.
Between this and Starfield, I'm starting to think G-Man Lives just likes any open-world games set in outer space. As someone who just doesn't even play them that regularly, jumping into something like Outlaws, I was just fucking struck by how dead everything was. And I just don't know what everyone else like reviewing in that way is like. What are your standards? The fact that I can just walk through 100 people and none of them do or say anything, none of them even react to my existence.
I wonder if it is just as simple as it's kind of like Lana Pierce said, but subconsciously, which is, well, the game is sufficiently big budget that there is like a flaw on how it can be rated. It's like if the production values are high enough to an extent, then that means it at least must be like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, because have you seen those random Glub Shido games on Steam that are terrible that no one plays?
I guess
I
it
mean,
is
Outlaws
genuinely
has to be
just that, like,
7.
there is a degree to which production values will just fundamentally win. Like, well, it almost like if the game has high production values, there's no way that it can have serious fundamental flaws. Like, the flaws will, it could have big flaws down to its like DNA. But then you need to remind them. It's like, I mean, there are, in terms of the amount of gameplay experiences that it has to offer, it is lesser than games that came out like 25, 30 years ago. Grand Theft Auto 3 offers a better open world experience than Star Wars Outlaws. It does.
Not even close.
100%.
I mean, starters, you can drive more than one car. And you can
whoa,
carry
now,
more than one
calm
weapon.
down. I told you
Where
I
are we
couldn't
gonna get
fucking
that
believe
kind of money?
Lego games, they had like 30
Yes.
vehicles when you unlock it at the end. This is not even what the game's about.
Well, as I understand it, the Lego open world game that came out, I think it was on Wii U, and then eventually got ported to other platforms. That was apparently just like a pretty good open world game, and there's no way it costs as much money to make as Star Wars Outlaws did.
And that's the thing. I was referencing the old Lego games that would be like, oh, bonus mission, you get to run around like a Lego theme park thing and blow up everything and get all the studs from them. But simultaneously, if you get into a vehicle and you've got cheats enabled, or if you've come back to the level once you've unlocked everything, you can press the L1 and R1 to just cycle through all vehicles and play as whichever one you want. It's like, oh wow. Something that was like a bonus of a bonus of a cheat, and it's in the game. You know what I mean? Like, and Outlaws is like, oh, just a one vehicle.
Here's one, and it's shitty.
Yes, nice.
It's not even an amazing, super customizable speeder.
Nope.
That can kind of like take that sort of like role of being multiple vehicles, depending on how you want to customize it. No, it's just always shitty.
Enjoy your shitty speeder with your shitty gun and your shitty ship. Whether or not
I'll try.
You like it.
Oh, I couldn't. Damn.
Damn it. Hello. Hello. How to do? All of you in chat take EFAP way too seriously. You know, as long as they're all right, having fun. That's the important thing. And that's when I realized that as terrifying and painful as reality can be, it's also the only place that you can get a decent meal. Ubisoft. Well, not anymore. Hey, you can get Nick's a meal. Several of them, actually. And they are the most, like, functional part of the game, if I'm being completely honest. So I'm glad they've nailed that. Outside of the petting. You know, the petting works as well. I think that was where Asmongold wanted to kill himself when he realized he couldn't attack the animals, he could only pet them. Just,
He's
you're an
probably
outlaw.
just used to attacking any creature within his vicinity because it's like trying to bite him or crawl all over him or something.
Well, to an extent, I'm kind of like that in terms of playing games. In terms of just like, what am I allowed to do? You like blowing up children with rockets just to see if they allow you.
Oh yeah, but that's just because children are despicable.
But most of the time,
I'm always friendly to the animals.
That's nice, but they don't let you do
You're
anything else
you're
to the
bad
animals
to
anyway.
attack animals. You're a bad person. They didn't do anything to you. They were just out there grazing.
You don't know that.
Just because I used all of those herds of animals to get many groups
We
of
use them because
assassins,
they were
they're
made of
indestructible.
adamantium. Those
Yeah, they're they're adamantelopes, and
Yeah.
they're out there. I, it never stopped being funny
Mhm.
how you could just weave in and out of the herds of animals, and all of the attackers would just drive their speeders into them and explode,
And they
and
just,
they'd
the
all
fact
end up
they just
killing themselves.
never stop, because there are games that I don't even like that at least implement this notion that like the more you kill, the more things change in terms of the enemies' like approach to you or attitudes. Like even Last of Us 2 did that. But this game, you could have 100 of them run into those fucking things, and the last dude would be like, "I'm gonna get you still." It's all down to me now. I can do this. Video game review scores go by school grading scores, not an actual quality scale. 7 out of 10 is mediocre because it's a C-. Play trails in the sky. That's not how she explained it. And remember, she's an expert. She worked with them. She knew all the people who do 7 out of 10s. That video was fucking terrible, dude.
It's horrifically bad.
My mum just
Every
got...
time she opens her goddamn mouth, something stupid and insane comes out. It's wild. I have no idea why people are like, "Oh yeah, she's insightful and entertaining." I just don't understand. She's up there in that list of people. I just don't get it. When she's every time she says something, it's stupid.
On the whole controversy about just how much writing she contributed to Ragnarok is so fucking awkward. My mum just got diagnosed with breast cancer at stage 2, and it's all been good news so far. Well, as good as it can
Very
be.
good, very good, very good.
Fuck Boogie. Which, yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably going to come up for anybody dealing with anything like that in life, thanks to his whole fucking campaign related to it. But of course, yeah, wish her the best of luck. And hey, stage 2, catching it then, that probably is good news compared to what it could have been. Greetings, gents. Just wanted to give some money to my favorite podcast. Currently playing Vampire Survivors, having a fucking blast. Keep up the good work and high rags.
Hello.
That's yet another example of a game that like shoots off in popularity because of its mechanics. Absolutely not the graphics. Not that, to say the graphics are bad, just that that's obviously not the focus compared to what feels like the opposite end of the spectrum, where you get no mechanics but lots of graphics.
Ooh, put that white dot on their head, click 7 times, but boy, isn't it a purty game.
Oh, it's so pretty. When you buy Scarlett Johansson from Wish... Oh, I think we're on the Alana Pierce video now. That would make some sense.
For a second there, I thought we were still talking about KVS, and I'm like, kind of, I guess. Action stealth lady from Wish.
You know how I know we're on the point of watching her videos? Because the next one says, how could she say so many words to say nothing? Yeah, do you remember how long it took her to, like, move on? She made the same point 7 times in a row at one point, and it's just like, oh, good God, please. Begging you. Just wanted to say thanks for all the entertainment through the years, folks. Thank you.
Yeah,
No
you bet.
problemo. I was subscribed to her. Not anymore. Well,
Jeez. Were you? Why?
I don't know. It's just, maybe she was more fun back in the day and just played games or something. I don't
Maybe.
really know a lot about what she was doing before some of these more recent videos I've encountered. This is a Monty Python sketch. When thou ratest a game, thou shall rate 7 and only 7. 6 too low and 8 too high. 5 is outright. I mean, yeah.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail reference, yeah.
She's gonna make me game end myself before Theo. You can't beat Theo to that result.
Yeah, not if we have anything to say about it.
You have 33 1/3 chance to get a 5 score, which, when accounting for 7 days, takes you 2 2/3 chance to get a higher score between 8 and 10. Okay. I agree.
Something to think about. Something to think about.
Game has physics. This is my favorite part. 7 out of 10. It's pretty cool if the game has physics, yeah.
Physics are cool.
We found female synthetic man. He's going to be pissed about this DEI bullshit. He would hate Alana. I'm pretty sure he does.
At least she's a woman.
There was in the supercut, right?
Well, I can't remember if he knew it was her or if he knew it was a woman. I think he just knew it was a woman, and that was it. If I
Yeah,
can't
it's
remember
enough for him.
completely. I know there was a clip where he was like, "Women were on the writing team for this game, so it was doomed." And it's like, okay.
What's his problem?
Well, it's always funny because of the discourse
He's a really good
surrounding
writer.
Naughty Dog, and Amy Hennig, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you can pull that card all day long, but like plenty of women have made amazing stories, so it's not gonna work.
Mhm.
The best-selling author of all time is Agatha Christie, right? Or among
Is it Agatha Christie?
might be. She's really high up there, if
The thing
not.
is I'm wondering if it's Patterson. I thought he was the best selling author.
I don't know.
I need to know who actually. Uh, hmm, I don't know. Patterson has sold more than 425 million books.
So like a handful.
That's yeah, I was wondering just cause like how many books did Agatha Christie write? She wrote a lot, but like how many compared to how many that he wrote? But yeah, no, it's just so. I mean, the point still stands,
She's
right?
up there.
Incredibly prominent, successful female writer.
Chick throwing her own profession and a bunch of $2 indie games under the bus in defense of her own profession, ironic, and Ubisoft game journalism at its finest was cool to have a workday EFAP. Yeah, you never know sometimes, it's wacky, but she's that whole video, like I said, it is shockingly awful in terms of
Yeah, it's insulting and elitist and
not only what
stupid.
points she makes, but also just like, what the fuck goal do you have here? Like, what? Why are you so desperate to shit all over
Well,
indie games? And
she's really anti-consumer and she's super big into like big dev studios. That just seems to be a common theme of a lot of the stuff she says. She is completely subsumed by that, like that corporate game culture. Like gamers are they're like an enemy. They're getting in the way of the kind of slop that the big
truly,
studios want to make, because that's where all of our friends and shit are, and they make terrible garbage games.
counterpoint, scales are relative. 2 games or 2,000 games get rated relative to each other. The result is a bell curve. The further out you go on either side, the fewer games there are. If not, you're biased. Whether or not statistically that's borne out, I just want to treat everything almost neutrally, right? Like, if someone, say for example, I have one game, let's just say I'm reviewing fucking Bioshock or something, and then I give it a number and someone says like, well, what have you given other games before? I would almost want to not say, because I'd be like, that's not that's not like how I've rated Bioshock. I've not decided, well, it can't be higher than fucking, I don't know, Soma for story, but it can't be lower than what's like an okay story in a game? It's something like that, you know?
Probably it's like the standard Call of Duty game.
Sure,
Maybe
yeah.
has like one of those okay stories. It's like, all right,
And so, like, whatever number I settle on, I'm like, well, wait, I got to check against, what I gave those other ones. As much as one can absolutely do that to try and make sure the scale is sort of working out, I wouldn't want to have that be the deciding factor as opposed to the game's quality itself, I guess. Figuring out your scale is super important, but I don't know if I like the idea that I'd rate Bioshock a particular number with just one having reviewed, and then it has to change drastically once I've reviewed 2,000, just because of where things are trending or something.
The only way that I would want to go back and edit a score is to take into account like a scale that has developed to bring it in
Yeah, if
line
you
with a
change
standardized scale.
changing values will change. Well, for example, it's like, is TLJ a 3? Like, I'm not 100% sure about that. But we settled somewhat on a 3 really long ago, and it might be
Yeah.
because some things have
Well,
sort of changed in terms of how we understand
well,
the minutia.
we've got more experienced. Yeah, we've got more experienced at it. We've got more, the system itself has been refined a bit as we've added more and more to it, as we've got more data points to settle on that graph.
Yeah, it might be a 2.
But it doesn't get better or worse. It's just its placement on the scale as the scale becomes refined might become slightly different.
Yeah, that's just an understanding sort of thing. Boop, boop, boop. Mola bola tola hola. When I clicked on my subscriptions, it showed all the live broadcasts at the top except yours. I rang the bell, so letting you know in case YouTube is hiding that you are live. Also, I told Rags it's not that bad.
What's that? What? Out?
I don't know.
What's?
Apparently they
What?
told you it's not that bad about something. But
I don't know, man.
as for whether or not YouTube is hiding my channel, it's just something I try not to worry about, even if it were true. It would just like, well, fine. I know that the longer your stream goes on, the less it's like pushed into a live feed. So this would have been pretty far in because we were on the Alana video. Whatever YouTube wants, it's kind of your insane, crazy, schizophrenic boss who sometimes doesn't even come into work. Metal Gear Solid for the original PlayStation is more complex than Outlaws. Well, complex was the fucking word, wasn't it? That was really annoying.
Calling Outlaws complex was insane because it's shockingly simplistic.
Yeah,
You keep waiting for all the mechanics to happen, and they just never do.
Well, I almost hate to say it, but it almost felt like a dog whistle. She wasn't actually making reference at all to complexity. She was just talking about the budget. Like, it's too big budget to say that it's anything lower than a 7. It's just too big budget. And like, I disagree dramatically. Chess is woke. The strongest piece is the queen. Well,
wow, they'll never get away with this. Let me put it onto my Steam curator list of games to avoid.
Yeah, hopefully they release a base version without the queen at some point. 2 kings. No, that would be gay.
Yeah, 2 kings. Live with your bros.
I'll do the gay chess. Please, get Rags to narrate more EFAPs. And can we get a Robert Eggers EFAP? Maybe before Nosferatu would be neat. Also, hi Longman, Doggo, and Bestbird.
Hello.
Yo.
When they say narrate, do they mean just you reading things out in general, I guess? Because we don't really narrate.
I mean, I'm more than happy to read things. I want to get my money's worth out of, learning how to read.
Yeah. Reading's good. As for Robert Eggers arc, probably not. Probably not. So you should go check out his films, though. The best real-life example of a scale is Kridnackle's IEM ranking list. He's an audiophile. He's reviewed 1K plus IEMs. They're ranked from F to S+. The graph is a bell curve around C, C+, and higher is above average, and vice versa. C- to C+, has 52% of all IEM statistical perfection. Okay, cool. Sounds like a lot of work. Good for him. The level of video game snobbery this woman has is mind-boggling. It's literally saying the top half of the scoreboard is reversed for the upper class, not you, plebeian, working class, indie games.
Well, it's literally a tax. It's a score tax. Do you have enough money to pay the score tax? Oh, you do? Okay, you're at least a 7 now.
Which is like terrible.
It's an awful idea.
I
can't believe that thought didn't come to my head from like my video or us at the time. It's literally a score tax. Holy shit.
Well, yeah, they said it's a video games as a caste system. There's the fact that you have to pay to get into the big boy club or something is just like we shouldn't be doing it that way ever. That's insane.
Yeah, are you a member of the video game guild? No? Okay then.
Well, you can't get above a 5.
A 4 maybe.
Yeah. I downloaded the second game she talked about, Zool Dungeon, and it's not polished by any means, but it's $3 and having a lot of fun.
It's fine.
This is what I mean, though. It's
Zool Dungeon and it's Zool Dungeon.
They didn't deserve to be the sort of like skewered examples for her thing about how indie games suck. That's just not cool. Like it's so fucking rude.
She didn't even try them.
Yeah.
Both Zool Dungeon and Deep in the Dungeon are games that have like mechanics. They're games. They're not particularly good.
They're not particularly complex.
They are games. They could be good.
No.
One day if they get updated and stuff, but
Us. Outlaws is ass compared to indie games. Her. If you think Outlaws is bad, you need to play more indie games. Confused Jackie Chan face. Well, that's the thing, right? We started bringing up a lot of
bad.
A lot of examples of recently. Balatro is like one of the best ones to cite. It was like, oh, it's not particularly complex. You're like, it wouldn't even matter if it were.
Kinda.
But it wouldn't matter if it weren't. It's like, why is this the metric when Outlaws doesn't fucking work? Like, yeah, but it's complicated. You're like,
but it's expensive.
Who cares? It doesn't work.
Look, Ubisoft lost a lot of money on this game. It's at least a 7, okay?
Yeah. That's like such that's just a roundabout way of being paid for reviews. Like I don't even like what. How are you getting away with that? 7 out of 10. Too much water. True. Video games aren't IQ tests that have to be changed based on the changing medium. Reviewers shouldn't follow some zeitgeist. They are products. More than happy for everyone to follow whatever scale they've come up with. I'm just free to judge how stupid the scale is. And in Alana's case, it was really fucking stupid.
You can do what you want, and we can judge you for it.
I
Enjoy.
felt the I hate this. That was probably from Theo. Just lose his mind, as you do. Speaking of which, have any of you heard of a game by two brothers called Dwarf Fortress? It has very deep and complex systems working together to generate a world with cities, monsters, events, etc. This game was the inspiration for games such as Minecraft and RimWorld. I have heard of it.
I have heard of that, yeah. Someone mentioned to me not too long ago. They said, hey, you'd probably really like this Dwarf Fortress game.
It's indie, though, so it's not going to be very good.
Yeah, probably not very good.
Probably like a 4, maybe even a 3.
Maybe,
so, oh well.
maybe, yeah.
Once Ubisoft pick it up, maybe I'll...
I gotta check the budget and see what it could get up to.
Good day. 90% of games I play are indie or old games simply because they are better. Darkest Dungeon, FTL, and Baldur's Gate 1 are my most played games. I understand, man. I think I have more indie games on my Steam list even recently than not. Though I picked up a couple. There was a deal for the Red Dead and well, just Rockstar in general. So like I should probably grab the ones I'm missing, which I didn't have GTA 4 on Steam, so that was an easy. And yeah, Red Dead 1 and 2 I picked up as well. But there was a chess roguelike indie game that I checked out. You got the...
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
It's called Passant, or Passant.
Passant.
Yeah.
Passant.
Yeah, it's fun. I think it's like probably riding the wave on Balatro a little bit. But if not, it's still fine.
Ride that wave.
Yeah, go for it. I like the alternative games.
Balatro has shown what you could do with playing cards. Imagine what you can do with chess.
I need to play mouthwashing. A lot of people have recommended that. It's a
mouthwashing.
Yeah, it's like it's more for the story. It's it's pretty small indie game. I think it's horror. I'm not 100% sure, but a lot of people have said it's very good.
Mouthwashing, mouth washing?
Yes.
Okay. Let me look this up here.
Yeah, I played Totally Accurate Battle Simulator because that shit was fun.
Yeah.
Cluster Truck, obviously Factorio, and I mean like Adventure Capitalist just for the flicker aspect, and then loads of drill games I've got, just drilling for ores and then defending a planet from aliens and stuff. A lot of them are indie.
Surprised you haven't played Deep Rock Galactic if you like drilling for ores.
Yeah, well, it's not that I'm not going to. I think it's forever been one of like, we will play that at some point, will we not? It's kind of like Resident Evil 6. It's like reserved for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess what I'm saying is like, I think I do tend to play more indie stuff than I do AAA stuff, especially considering I've got so many AAA things to play that I should play. But and I wouldn't be able to. It would be like a fucking casual thought. But if someone asked me why that's the case, I'd be like, well, sometimes I just want the mechanics without like this grand spectacle of graphics. I just don't care. Like I just want to get into the nitty gritty of whatever, figuring a thing out. Or there's a couple of games I like to, as I say, mong out to. Just have in the background. They require some level of interaction, but nothing that interrupts some other activity I also don't need to do. So it's a whole aspect, and a lot of people are doing it, I think. The game industry is in a weird place right now. Don't know what's going to happen next. Hello, Dev. How stinky is your diaper after 8 hours? Interesting question. Suppose, you know, not everyone has to answer questions like that every day, but it's nice that people care. This one just says, my ex-wife, with a laughing face. I mean... Maybe Alana's their ex-wife. Who knows? The use of "some fucking guy" is the most innocuous phrase has sounded like a slur since Zach Hadel tried to coin "sneakerhead" as a fun new slur. Yeah, she said "some fucking guy" like a million times.
Saying it over and over and over again.
Some fucking guy did nothing wrong. True. Leave that guy alone. Fucked up that she keeps
Well, that
going
was
after
what
him.
you were saying, right?
Yeah.
That who cares about what some fucking guy
Just
did?
some fucking
You know,
guy.
what he thinks.
Yeah, it was insufferable. As you do. So, we have an animal of the month and an extinct animal of the month. All happening here today.
This is incredible.
The first is the Melersis ursinus. Melersis ursinus. It's a sloth bear. This is a fella that is still around. Some images here. Oh, does that not show up?
It might take a moment for it to.
Oh,
That's good enough.
oh, look at him go!
That sloth bear.
Interesting. It looks. Look at the. It looks like it has one single nostril.
Unique design. Wonder if he's friendly.
And this first one here is. Oh, it's the same critter.
Yes.
Huh.
Different.
Yeah.
And then our extinct boy is the brachiopod, who just a sort of unique creature as well. Unimpressive yet substantial component of the Paleozoic. Well, I mean, if I knew more about it, I'd probably find it more impressive. As it stands, just
Humble
like,
origins.
Yeah.
Looks like a slinky.
A little bit.
Slinky in a rock.
And with that, I shall say that is the end of the messages of episode 305. Thank you so much for sending them in, and for now, we shall say goodbye. Thank you so much. Toodle pip. Cheerio.
See you later.
Goodbye. We will see you later,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.